welcome back to another episode of Going Direct. Today we have some amazing guests joining us, all of which are repeat guests, actually. And we're here today because we just started the Family Liaison Membership 101 class. And we're going to talk about the role of the liaison and then also the role the Honor Guard plays in supporting our members. And so I want to start off and introduce, we have Angel Hendry, who is District 6 rank and file.
Correct. Thank you.
We have Curtis Nagel, District 4 Vice President.
Yes. Hello.
We have Dominic Pulsifer, who is the Honor Guard Training Officer.
Yep.
We have Chris Bruno, who's the Honor Guard Commander.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you guys for being here. And I know last year on this time, we did a podcast on the Honor Guard, just who the Honor Guard is, how to join. So today we're really going to focus on the role of the Honor Guard in supporting members.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to start, and I want to start with Angel first because we are here for the Membership 101 class, Family Liaison, and I'm wondering if you could just kind of tell us a little bit more about your experience as a Family Liaison, how long you've been one, and you are new to the training cadre, so what does that look like?
So I've obviously been a union member since I started with CAL FIRE 20 years ago, and about 10 years ago is when I really started getting involved as a union officer, basically starting when MDA was really big with our Fill-the-Boots, which is how I really got involved. But I've probably been a family liaison for almost a dozen families in different capacities of injuries, sadly deaths, other sorts like that. So, yeah, almost a dozen families.
Yeah. And this week, particularly, is there anything that you are hoping to share with some of our members who are kind of new to this role or just signing up, like what you hope they gain from it or what you can share about your experience in the role?
Yes. I just want to really hit upon the importance of this role. People think, oh, family liaison, you're out of the station, you're helping families, you're just hanging out with them, when it's a million times more than that. And what it really involves, you're not going to know until you actually are in that role of the depth of what you do as a liaison, the emotional support you lend to the family, and the actual emotional support you need from your fellow firefighters for you, because you're helping this family in such a tough time. You know, you almost are part of that family at the end of, I don't want to say role, but at the, whatever the end state may be, you literally become part of that family. And so sometimes you need that emotional support after. So just basically having people realize you're not going to know really what you're doing in a sense when you start, but just being there in the beginning is really the first step, and it shows those families that they're not alone. So just having people realizing that we can't teach you basically how you're going to feel and how you're going to act in that, but just going there is basically the beginning to something so huge. And being a part of this and being allowed to be selected as a family liaison, I think, is one of the greatest gifts. I really can't explain how important I think it is or how much I believe it is, but they just have to, the fact that these people are here today for this week and willing to step up, I feel it speaks more than words, but they won't truly know until they actually get there. And hopefully we can explain that a little bit and maybe open their eyes, because really this is a blessing to be able to do this. So I think that's what I want to try to reiterate to the students this week. Yeah, and maybe
for Curtis and like Chris and Dom, if you guys can walk us through when there is either a line of duty death or a retiree passes away, job related, and we send the liaison, what does that process look like from when the liaison is called to when the Honor Guard steps in for the memorial and funeral planning part of that? How do they kind of work together, and what does that process look like?
Well, I'm actually, Curtis and I have both had the opportunity to work together during that process. So usually it starts with a phone call from Curtis, but if you want to start with how you get notified and then how you and I have worked together in the past, I mean, I think that would answer that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of moving parts to the family liaison. It's very significant to point out that it's just not our, working alone. The family liaison has the support of all members within our local 2881 office. Specifically, our point of contact here in the office is Pete Manola, General Vice President. At the end of the day, it's significant to stay in communications with the General Vice President, which is Pete right now, who governs the policies and the agreements with the department. The department, CAL FIRE, plays a role in these funerals and these details. And so, we have the 1039 policy that was agreed upon, took many years of work and effort from several members, not just, again, with our organization, but with CAL FIRE, to land on an agreement that is basically the foundational document that we utilize for any of the funeral stuff. But more specifically to your question, when the family liaison is notified and has to engage within that situation, there's no two funerals that I have seen that's been the same. Usually they're very different because you're dealing with people you've never met, people you don't know, and you're walking into an unknown situation, just as we are with most of the incidents that we run on a day-to-day basis. Tones go off. In this case, we get a phone call. We respond to that situation, and legitimately we're there to make that situation better, easier for the family, though it is arguably their worst day. So you really don't know what you're walking into till you're there, and gathering that information, that the details of needs from that family, from the significant other, gaining those points of contact are significant, especially within the first couple hours, if possible. And to Angel's point, getting somebody there to share the message that local 2881 is there for them, and we're there to facilitate their needs, is always important. That's if we can do that every time and get somebody embedded early, the better likelihood of success at the end for us to meet the expectation of the family. Ultimately, that's what the family liaison is there for. So with that being said, the family's needs and the family's view of, in this case, the funeral services, once that's articulated to the family liaison, then it's our job to move that forward. And how we do that is through the facets of the honor guard, through the members of this union, to be able to facilitate and to get the job done. But again, every funeral that we've done, I know that me and Chris have done, has been altogether different. There's always something that comes up, something that changes. I have 100% faith in our honor guard. I always feel a sigh of relief when they show up, because I know that the job is going to get done and they're going to do it professionally and thoroughly. And my hat's off to them. I appreciate the hard work they put in day and day.
Well, thank you for those kind words. I do appreciate that you and I have had an opportunity to work well together over these years, and I think what started that was just a conversation. Curtis called me up and says, "Hey, I'm going to be supporting a funeral here, and I have some questions, and I have some concerns, and I want to know what I don't know." And I said, "Well, perfect. I'd like to meet you as well, and let's talk about how we can serve our families in the best manner we can." And what we did was we sat down and we went over the process. We went over portions of the policy, and we went over, the information that we gathered from our typing of our conference call, the information gathered at the local unit, information that was gathered from our leader, our vice president, and the department liaison. And we put all that together, and that's how we start the process with serving our families and making sure that their needs and their expectations are met. And that's what I really think is the most important thing, is that communication and prioritizing their needs. What that looks like as far as our time frames and that communication flow. The communication flow from the union and the department with the honor guard, and how we support each other to make sure that the family's needs and goals are met as our priority. And it seems that we all pull together on an even playing field to accomplish these tasks, because they become our priorities. We want to make sure that, as Curtis said, one of the most difficult days of their lives is going to be supported in a manner that's going to be able to guide them through that tragedy, through that experience. So I've had the opportunity to work with Curtis and other leaders of our union throughout the state, and I think what always highlighted as a component that made it successful was the communication and the support up and down.
Yeah. And like Curtis was saying, how every funeral, even talking about in the class today, all funerals are different because families all want different things. But particularly for Dom and Chris, the honor guard is steeped in so much tradition and history. And is there any part of the funeral services or memorial services that you find particularly moving, that you, I'm not saying that you suggest to the families, or that you find particularly important to include, that you don't want to be left out?
Well, when we begin our planning process, and correct me if I'm wrong with this, Dom, but when we begin our planning process, first of all, we want to find out what the expectation and the goal of the family is. Obviously, to honor their loved one, but to also honor their religion, their personal family traditions, what they hold valuable and what they hold private. We want to make sure that we can produce what they would envision as something that's acceptable and honoring of their family member. So that's when we start that conversation. Obviously, we want to instill our fire department honors and our traditions, but we're obviously very flexible to ensure that the priorities of the family are met as that priority.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. When we're talking to family, when that time comes, we will present what we call our firefighter honors. That portion of the service, we will relay to them the different elements that will take place during that funeral process, or funeral service, should I say, not process, service, and talk them through those elements that we're going to do. And depending on their wishes and religions and dynamics of family and stuff, they have 100% the option to include everything that we present to them, or remove certain aspects of it, which is completely fine. We will present and do all those details at the highest level possible, and to see our fallen off and to take care of the family. So it's all, I would say the whole service is moving to us. Our firefighter honors are especially dear to our heart and emotional to not only for us to go through, but for the family to go through. So it means a lot to us in keeping those traditions and the traditions that we've come to find and formulate and establish with CAL FIRE Honor Guard too. There's things that we do that no other honor guard will or does that we have pride in. And so, yeah, it's very moving to us, very emotional, and a huge honor to be a part of. Of course, we would rather not be doing a funeral service.
Right.
But it's our honor to be here to take care of our fallen and send them off.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, you're absolutely right. I think what we try to do is we try to make sure that each service is as special as possible. And because of the strong communication that we have with our family liaisons and our team members that are supporting us through this, we're able to find out information or things that were special to that family, or things that were truly them. And if we have an opportunity at all during the service, then we try to incorporate some of that stuff or some of those gestures, or it could be something as subtle as just something written on the Celebration of Life pamphlet, or something on stage that they were passionate about, or something that they grew and through or lived through that the family members are just going to go, you know?
Yeah.
And when we find those items, those opportunities, then they become part of us. And that's what I think holds us apart from other honor guard members. I mean, obviously they're doing it for the right reason, but I think that's what separates us a little bit, is the extra love and support that we try to put into what we do. And where we have very talented folks up and down the union and the department side that take the time and the effort and the energy to make sure that they are giving all they can to our families. And when we all come together, that's why we have these services. It's not just the honor guard doing it. It's not just the union or the department doing it or supporting it with policy and procedures. It's everybody coming together to do what we absolutely can, and that's love the family and support them at that manner.
It's that right there that makes these families feel so special and heard and seen, where it's not just a routine service. It's those little things that make those families in that time feel just a little bit better, knowing that their member, their loved one, made a difference, and they were seen. They weren't just a person in the department. That service, that this group of men, our honor guard, this group of men and women, every service is just a little bit different because they make it personable. And I just had the opportunity 2 months ago as a liaison for a retired chief in the department, and the family was so blown away. They had no expectation, and what the honor guard presented and what they did and do for these families is by far something you can't explain. There is so much love and respect shown that it just makes such a difference. And so to have a part of it as a liaison, I am constantly beaming with pride for what they do. And so it's amazing. But again, it's those little differences. They make it personable, and they just make a difference. It's really outstanding. So to see it from, behind the doors, or however it's worded, not just walking in to see the service, but to see how everything is done behind closed doors, I guess is how I'm trying to say. It's amazing, the process and how these guys and the pride that they put forth.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
I was just going to add to your point. Some of this information gets to your guys' doorstep by way of the family liaison. I know that I've had multiple meetings with you guys on, hey, we're talking business and what needs we need to facilitate, what tasks need to be done. And it's very typical for you guys to kind of break the checking the boxes to, hey, tell me about this family. Tell me about, the dynamics and what are they into, and you're soliciting that information from the family liaisons that's with them all day, every day, just about. And you guys are, facilitating these certain attributes, to these services that mean so much to the family over conversations that we've had. I know, Chris, me and you have sit down day after day when we're assigned to a detail or a event, and we've had to break away from that, check the box, going from one task to the next, because again, every one of these incidents are different and meaningful in their own way, and you have to almost step out of your initial role to see the significance of this family and this person, and how can we honor this person and the fire, because the fire service is very steep in tradition. It's a lot of the same movements, the same things, right? And I don't mean to be speaking out of line, but to break that, to find the balance between tradition and meaningful differences for the individual is, I would imagine, is a hard role for you guys to play.
Yeah. Well, we have protocol and standards that we have to adhere to, that we follow, that set from the military several hundred years ago. And we follow that, and we've taken pride over the years as the Honor Guard's developed into the strong Guard that it is, that we've taken some of the best things from the top military Honor Guards, the Marines at 8th and I, and the Body Bearers, the Old Guard at Arlington National Cemetery. We've been in contact and went face to face with the Air Force Color Guard, and happened to just cross paths in Washington, D.C. So we spent 2 hours with them talking about things and their movements and stuff like that. So it's all stuff that we've kept and refined our own Honor Guard with, and upped our level of presentation to adhere to the protocols that have been set long before we got here, but to maintain them and not let those drop. So, and then we find the small nuances that we can do to incorporate things from families, because everything and everybody's different, and every venue's different. So,
yeah, I think Curtis and Don both hit on it. It's the blending of our procedures and our traditions as we're honoring our membership, but it's also those intricate details that our liaisons and our families have discussed and shared when they're sitting down and or on that coffee table, and our liaisons are saying, "Tell me about your loved one. Tell me about your family. Tell me about, how you met. Tell me why they joined the fire service." We extract this information to let them know that we're human, and that we love them and we care for them, and that we want to provide that level of service, like we mentioned before, but to also let them know that we hear them.
Yeah, I'm wondering if you guys can elaborate a little more on the relationship building with the families, because it goes just beyond the service, and I know for our unit in particular, then we have the CPF memorial, the IFF memorial. So you get a chance to really get to know these families over a prolonged period of time, not just that moment of crisis. So what does that look like for you? What have you, for some of you, it sounds like you've had relationships that have lasted years. I mean, I think even Rose in Colorado Springs, who is still ingrained in the Honor Guard all these years later. So what does that look like for you guys in building those connections past the date of service?
I'll jump in on this one first. So I have had the opportunity to be the liaison for some amazing families. All my families have been amazing, but there's a couple that our relationship has just grown beyond, the normal family and then family liaison. One family, the wife I met the day I got the phone call to assist her husband who was ill and admitted in the hospital. And so I met her, and this was 4 years ago, and this woman is now my best friend. Her children mean so much to me. She lives out of state now, and I plan vacations around going to visit them, and we talk, if not every day, every week. And it's sadly something brought us together, but fate kept us together, I guess, is a way to put it. And I incorporate my family, my children and stuff in with the families when I'm a liaison. And so we're not there for the 2 weeks that it takes us to assist them with the services or however long it takes somebody to heal from an accident. We literally, at least for me, I ingrain myself in being there for them and becoming part of their family. It's not a job. I'm not there to be like, oh, this is what we can do, this is what we can offer, and then it's done. I mean, we're there next to them, we're holding their hand, we're hugging them, we're crying with them. You can't turn that off, you can't walk away from that. So I have really ingrained them into my family and me into theirs, because I feel there's no other way to properly do that. And I have other families where my sister has been with me when I've, met up with these families and we've done things together. And now we're all like family. And it's just, I feel there's no other way but to be that way. I couldn't imagine doing it, I guess, in lack of a better term, like a 8 to 5 type thing. It's,
Right.
It's a 24/7 forever thing. And I'm so okay with that. So those relationships you build at that time, I feel should last basically forever, because you're with them now. You're, it's almost like you were imprinted into them during that time of need. So those relationships, they do become special. Yeah. They do become part of your family. You do become part of their family. And they will last years. It's, I can't imagine, like I said, it not being like that. So for me, I keep in contact with every family that I have been a liaison for, every single family. So you become family.
Yeah.
Well, and some of that has to do with the family. Again, every family is a little different. Every situation is a little different. There has been times where there may be some resentment to the department or the patch or the situation, and in some cases, the family liaison is the first face the family sees, and so that has proven to be challenging. And we have had times where the family wants to meet Errol, the honor guard, everybody who's involved, and share and announce their appreciation to these guys individually. And there's times that the honor guard may show up the day of, and if on the retiree funerals, and it's just, hey, I'll meet you a couple hours before, have a rundown, communicate, all of those things. And then the service is that day and facilitate that in the honors. And these guys may or may not be going to their next event, unfortunately. So dealing with the family on a personal level usually is the family liaison's role. Chris, how do you see it different than that?
Well, I think a couple points. when we have those short opportunities that we don't happen to have a lot of time that we can share with the families, and we can learn a lot about them and their family members, we still, again, provide that level of service and fire department honors, but we still want to make that lasting impression on them. We want them to understand that that family member, they mattered. That their dedication and service to the United States, the state of California, the communities that they served, meant something. We want to make sure that they understood that when we present them with that Case California flag, that it's not just a flag. There's many things that go into that flag. We have a state facility that harvests the redwood that flag case is built out of. We have crews that are making sure that our flag cases are homemade at that facility, Mount Home. The department has ensured that all American and California flags are supported by the department and are entrusted into the care of the Honor Guard to make sure that they are at every service that we support. Our Honor Guard members ensure that it's folded appropriately and in a presentable state to be offered to that family as a tribute. So you see all members of the department and the union working together and coming together for that presentation. So it's not just the one person that's presented that flag during that service. A lot of people came together to offer their condolences respectfully and to support that family member. So we make sure that they know that on that special day.
It's the 11,000
That's
people
amazing.
standing behind you, holding you up as you present that flag.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Wow, I had no idea about the redwoods and that's amazing.
The fold itself for the California flag, we're the only honor guard in California that folds the flag in the manner that which is presented to. It's a unique fold that no other honor guard in California does. So it's different. The amount of times we fold it till we get it right could be an hour process. It could be longer. It could be several folds and refolds, unfurl, fold it again. So we want to get that right, just like the amount of times we fold the national flag. We're doing that behind the scenes over and over and over and over again until we get those folds correct, and we're maintaining protocol and honors for the flag too.
That's amazing. I had no idea.
Yeah, people think they think it comes pre-folded. That's what I'm saying. It's these things
Yeah.
that go above and beyond for that member.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty amazing what they do.
Amazing. Well, I guess now would be a good time then to, if someone's interested, I know not to caveat it's serious discussion, but Honor Guard, you are always looking for members, and I know that there's people out there who might have military experience or who have the heart of service of who want to be part of honoring our family, our fallen and their families. How would they get involved in becoming a member?
Well, glad you asked that. I've had the opportunity to travel up and down the state here recently, and I've been approached by several of our young firefighters and young operators, and even a couple chief officers that are saying, "Well, I'll be retiring soon, so I might have some time." Well, you know what? Let's put that time to good use.
Yeah.
Let's put that sentiment, those efforts to where they would make the most difference. Mm-hmm. So I had a conversation with each and every one of them, and I explained to them that the process. So they would reach out to that area lead, We have 3 areas in the state, north, center, and south. And those are all available, and you can be found on our union's website. And they can use a QR scan code that was developed by somebody special in our union that ensures that that communication is put out there at that level. So they can fill out that application, and then it'll be followed up by contact from our Honor Guard lead and our command staff in the Honor Guard to give the person that's seeking an opportunity to serve the information that they need. And then we go from that point. Once they've been successful at that interview that is provided for their entry into the Honor Guard, we make sure that that person is a member in good standing with our union and supported there by the department that they serve. And we move forward with making sure that they're supported to become an Honor Guard member by our union leadership. It's a pretty significant calling, joining the Honor Guard. It's with all that we do and we're asked to support throughout the state, plus our day job. It can be a bit of a challenge, not so much to do the task, but to be able to do the task, to be able to support it with our normal job, as well as the amount of incidents that we are being asked to support statewide.
Yeah.
We've had a steady increase in the amount of details, and the month of March and April were no exception. And with the influx of the additional new employees with our department, I find that that number is only going to go up and become a little more challenging. So your question, how does somebody join, comes at a great time where we are looking for people that want to serve our families, to present that tradition and honor that we hold on our sleeve, and to put our best foot forward as we're trying to support our families and our membership. So if they are interested, then please reach out, because we are looking for some good folks.
Yeah. And to your point too, I know that the Honor Guard is such a special part of our department, but then there's a brotherhood amongst honor guards across the state and the country. And so I know when we have line of duty deaths, there's other honor guards that show up for us, just as our Honor Guard. You guys have gone across California, across the country to support other fallen members, which is pretty amazing as well.
Actually, and Dom just got back from the National Memorial this week.
Yeah. Busy.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys are busy.
There's a lot of people out there that, like, I don't know how you guys do it, or I don't know if I can do that job too. And it's, I wouldn't task it or phrase it as a job to do. It's a duty, more so how I view it. And when we tell people, it's emotional. There's a lot of ups and downs. And even in one day, even in 1 hour, when we're actually doing the service itself. But we're task driven too. So where we have several people and you break down the different elements for firefighter honors, you'll see that different people come up and do those tasks. And you focus on doing that task at the highest level, and then, we go back behind stage or behind the curtains or go into our ready room, get ready for the next one. And that's where your emotions, they dump, and then they come back up and you ready yourself, you do the next one. I don't quite know where I was going with that one, but you'd be surprised what people are capable of doing when they have support of a team around them. And it makes a huge difference, the folks that we have in our Honor Guard and those that support us. We can't do what we do unless we have the support of not only the union, but the family liaisons, our chief officers, the department, CAL FIRE. It all comes together and it plays a role. So those folks that may be a little apprehensive on joining because they've always only maybe sat, I wouldn't say always only, but those that have sat in the audience to be at a service and watch everything, it's tough for me. I can't get through it. It's hard. It's extremely hard. But when you're doing the job that we're doing, we're not sitting out front for that hour and a half solid, watching everything as it takes place one after the other, and then the slideshow. We're doing these tasks to honor our fallen and send them off in the highest level respectfully that we can. So those members, it's surprising to see we will put them through the training and we'll elevate and bring their skills up to the highest level that we possibly can. And it's different than just taking part in the sea of blue, which would be those in uniform showing up and standing outside while the procession arrives and everything. And it's a tear. It hits the heart hard,
Well, and I think I think what we also need to remember is how our union and our department have worked hand in hand to ensure that we have that level of support with our ESS and our EAP, and ensuring that we have those opportunities where we are the honor guard are being afforded the opportunity to go and receive mental health and wellness support and treatment, and we are giving guidance on who we can talk to and how that process works, and they set resources aside and funding to ensure that our longevity and our success and that we are still able to move forward with that level of support. It's not something easy to provide that level of service at a funeral, but when you have liaisons and ESS folks and people that show up with the little furry puppies to make sure that that if we need a little bit of time, then we can have somebody there. And then, as if you talk to honor guard throughout the state and the nation, we end up kind of melding together and we develop that camaraderie, that family dynamic where we support each other.
Yeah.
And that's why, people may not appreciate when I say, but the honor guard's the best thing about this department. It's just like, our folk, the people are the best thing about this department, and the honor guard pulling together and what we do, it's one of the most powerful things that I think can be said about the respect and the support that our union and our department work together hand in hand as they support our families. So
Very true.
I agreed. Yeah.
I really appreciate that effort is being put in us to make sure that we're okay.
And I do want to note there are different facets of the honor guard too. So if someone's intimidated about folding a flag, or, we also have, I mention this often, Patty, Eddie, and Brenda who document honor guard, and then we also have the band. So there's many ways to get involved that, so if anybody's just remotely curious, just reach out, because there's so many facets to the honor guard. There's so many ways to still serve without, if you're nervous to be on stage per se, there's so many ways to get involved.
We've had retirees that have come up to us at funerals and said, "Hey, you guys think I can help out?" And we say, "Absolutely."
Yeah.
Just because somebody retires doesn't mean that they stopped
Exactly.
feeling what we feel.
Yeah.
And if we can put their creativity to work, let's be honest. Our retirees are the people that blaze the trails, that created the foundation that we're standing on. So if we can honor them and put them to use so that way they can support their brothers and sisters that they fought fire with, give me chills right now.
Yeah.
And when we're approached by these folks and we say, absolutely. I always tell them, I got honor guard uniform that'll fit you.
We have all ranks, firefighter 1 to chief officers, executive officers that have stars on their collars.
Yeah.
And retirees.
Yeah.
Quite a number. So it's open to all, and we'll train you up, and it's a different world, but one to be proud of for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
We can be extremely creative when we're staffing the needs of our union and our honor guard. And a lot of our retirees and folks that are out there, they don't even really have to be in the suppression role. Right? We have folks that are extremely talented with photography, with creative design. I mean, there's so much out there, and all we got to do is give people an opportunity.
Yeah, agreed. Love it. I love the honor guard.
Well, that's why you're a member, right?
That is why, yeah. Be up there soon.
You
It is,
joined
though.
the honor guard?
It is moving. I'm playing the bagpipes, and it is. I was telling my.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. This is a candid conversation we can have now.
She's a learner.
She's I just play the bagpipes. She says.
Well, I'm not at the level. I have to audition, but I did finally get my bagpipe. So I am at that part. I was telling my mom this past convention, I was able to actually. I went in with the band, and I had just gotten my bagpipes. So I'm like, you practice on the chanter, and then now I'm on the bagpipe, and it's a different beast. And I'm like, I feel like I was knocked back down. I was like, crap, it's a journey. But I was so moved because I'm like, brand new, like, yeah, I'm doing the bagpipes, and they're all so skilled. And I was trying to play, and then what I love is the honor guard uses convention a lot for training. Yeah. So they bring in like these great instructors for the drums, for the pipes, even flags and all that. You just do all this training. So we have this great trainer who came, and he's like, hold up, we got to help Kelly out. And they had to like cork some drones and all of this. And then someone gave me reeds, like, here, you can just use my reeds. And someone's like, here, let me show you how to do this. And here, and I like got emotional. Like I almost like had to walk away. Like I was so overwhelmed by the love of the other. Like, it's just such an amazing group of people who are just so ready to step up for anything. I mean, something so small as I needed help wrapping I don't even know what it's called. You know what I mean? At the time, I was like, oh, the reeds that had to and now I had to learn how to like take it apart, all that jazz. And like, they're just it's just such an amazing group.
Good for you.
I do think like it's, I have no musical ability. So my point is, even if you don't think if you just want to get involved, there's so many options too.
Yeah.
And you know what's cool? Because you mentioned the people, right?
Yeah.
You mentioned the people right now. And if you if you attend one of the funerals that we have up and down the state for our retirees or our fallen, you'll see this wide range of people come in collectively as a group and just form up and be like, okay, we're here to help support. We got this.
Yeah.
And they are consistent. They are consistent in showing that love. I live in Fresno, and I'm traveling up to Humboldt this weekend to go support one of our fallen. And I know I'm going to be met by a piper and a drummer from a totally different area of the state. And that's what we do. We come together to surround and embrace our families and make sure that they know that they're not alone, that we're here. And that's the heart of the honor guard members that we have in our union. That's what they do. Yeah. Pretty awesome people. I'm very, very blessed to be able to stand next to them.
Yeah.
I think we're one of the largest honor guards in the United States too. So not only one of the largest, we also cover one of the largest geographic areas in the United States that we come together and we'll do our details. Most other agencies will be within a city or a specific county, but we have the entire state, and that's why we divide it into 3 regions. And have the command staff that we do too.
Wow. Well, we've been talking now for almost an hour, which is amazing. No, I love it because we could go on forever and ever. I want to give you guys an opportunity to kind of just give a closing either statement or sentiment as to why you are a liaison or why honor guard is important to you. Just something you want our members to leave with that might leave them maybe more appreciative or like, wow, like what an amazing department union we have. And like you said, the people make it. And what would you like them to know as we close this out?
I have the support of my family, my husband, my children, because I'm giving myself to other families my family is there supporting me. So to be able to do this, like I said earlier, is such an honor to be able to assist these families in their time. But it goes back to everybody. We can't do it without the support of each other and our families. You know, my husband and children have done yard work for family members when they were in the hospital. My mom has cooked meals. And without that type of support, I can't support our members when they need us the most. So if people are wanting to do this, know that they're not alone. And we are, it's not to sound corny, but we're making a difference with nothing asked in return. And the biggest reason, and I've said this to everybody, the biggest reason I do this is I have two amazing children that I love more than anything in this world. And if God forbid something were to happen to me or my husband, because my husband's retired CAL FIRE, I want to know that they would be taken care of and that somebody would do for them that I tried to do for these families. So that is why I do this. It's because of them.
Yeah, absolutely. That's I think the driving force to most family liaisons is you want to ensure that you're giving a couple things. You're ensuring that you're giving back to the department and to our organization who's done so much for us to get us where we're at and you know, to be that providing force for our family and all the things that we have, as well as to ensure that the next generation can maybe see what we're doing, what we have done, where we've been, to where they're gonna fill our shoes. And one of the great things about the fire service as a whole, and I purposely don't say our department or organization, the fire service as a whole will continue on. Even after we're done here, it will continue on. And CAL FIRE and Local 2881, I hope, is no exception. They continue on long past us. And we ensure that we're one piece in the bigger picture. And if we can be there for our peers and people we work with, and help them on their worst day, to Angel's point, I hope that, forbid something was ever happen to me, but I hope someone would show up to my door with my family, my wife, my kids' interest as priority, and to ensure that their wishes are followed and adhered to. Yeah.
I think it's a really hard question to answer. And I say that in the best way because it's hard to take everything that I've experienced with the Honor Guard and put it into words. It's really difficult. And I think initially when I came into the Honor Guard, I just felt like that was my calling. I couldn't think of a higher calling within the fire service to be a part of. And not for me, but to take care of those and respect those that came before me, but also the families, the survivors, and seeing those folks that paid the ultimate sacrifice, honored properly and sent off properly. So I think that's been my driving factor, is to be there when a door closed on that family and their life pivoted so dramatically and so quick, to help them through that and to be there. And then you hear the comments often in the fire service, leave things better than you found it, and that's always been my goal in the Honor Guard. And I hope we're making that difference in the Honor Guard and for those that are a recipient of our services. So that's my drive, and yeah. there's a lot more words that I'm missing. But I couldn't imagine not being a part of this honor guard, and I couldn't imagine not having formulated the friendships that I've been fortunate enough to do with the families and the fallen basically, that were still around, and to be a part of such a group that does what we do.
Dom's right. Dom's always right. That's a very tough question, and I think as I'm listening to my sister and brothers right here explain why they do things, I'm thinking back to when I joined the Honor Guard, when I was advised to join the Honor Guard, and it was to help, just to help. There was a need, and the need was to support our fallen. There was a need to be there for all funerals, to be there at graduations, those beginnings and the ends of service. And I think that's why it's hard for me to not be available at all services. It's hard when we have multiple services throughout the state on the same day. And that's why we lean on our liaisons and to guide our families as their decision making is happening. And we communicate. I mean, we've said those phrases many times during this interview, right? Because that's what it comes down to, communicating the needs of our families. And when we can't, and I don't like saying this, I don't even want to say it, we do support our families, and we are there at their services. And when we're asked to do those difficult components in a service, as difficult as they are, we do it with pride, love, and respect, because that's what they deserve. So, again, we thank you for this opportunity. We thank our department and our union for the service and support that they offer us and for taking care of us. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you all for joining, and you're welcome back anytime. We can talk about Honor Guard and liaisons anytime. So, thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Kelly.
Mike.
Uno.